I was educated as a strict Catholic, and I was educated in a boarding school for 6 years, led by Jesuits. I knew the Bible. We translated parts of the Bible from Greek to Latin and from Latin to German. So I really know what I'm talking about. And while making these translations, as a boy, I realized that the God of the Bible cannot be a real God. I mean, something which is a real God is a question of definition. God, for me, has to have some qualities. For example, God makes no mistakes. God would not need a vehicle in which to move around from point A to point B. God is all over. Of course, God makes no mistakes. He knows what he's talking about. Now in the Bible, we found a God. He made some mistakes. He made some errors. He even admitted errors, etc. He uses a vehicle to move from point A to point B. The result was I had simply doubts in my own Christian education. And I wanted to know if other communities in antiquity have similar stories than we have. That's why it all started with Chariots of the Gods. Now, in beginning the Bible, the second book of Moses, the Lord, before he descends from heaven to earth, he gives order to Moses. Moses should create a gate around the holy mountain so that the people would not come close by. Otherwise, the people would be destroyed. So Moses constructs a gate around the mountain. The Israelites are on a safe distance. And then the Lord descends with smoke, fire, trembling, loud noise. In the Bible it says, and the mountain looked like an oven, like a fire. So my God is a spiritual being. My God does not need a vehicle in which to move around, come down, smoke, fire, loud noise, trembling, etc. So that's why in the Bible we find many descriptions about extraterrestrials. We simply translated it wrong. Some unknown thousands of years ago, a group of extraterrestrials arrived here. And that was not coincidence. Because again, long before, millions of years ago, they created life simply by infecting a certain region of their Milky Way with DNA. They knew exactly that only on planets which are similar than the one they came, some life would be evolved. So they knew in advance that they will come to Earth and they will find forms of life. And one of these forms of life was our ancestor. Let's call him, in a non-scientific way, an ape. They simply took one example of it, took one simple cell and changed the DNA in the cell. This cell grows, multiply, and then they put it into the womb of a female of the same species. This female, after a certain amount of months, will give birth to a child. The child has definitely the evolution of the parents. I mean the skeletons, the bones, the mouth and all things. But because of this artificial mutation, the child now grows out of evolution. All our family members, still today, the apes, the chimpanzees, the gorillas, whatever, we are all the same family tree. They are still stupid. If they learn something, they learn it from us. The chimpanzees who can't speak, we tell them so. But they are still stupid. Only one species, Homo sapiens sapiens, out of the same family tree has become intelligent, learned the language, because of an artificial mutation made from the same family tree. Now, as soon as you want to have a new population, you need at least two, female and male. And then you end in the story of Adam and Eve. And the gods created humans according their own image. We are the offsprings of them. That's why they understand us today. They could have destroyed us and killed us throughout thousands of years, anytime, but they were never doing it. we belong to the same family. So Adam and Eve were a creation by an artificial mutation made out of the family tree of our primitive ancestors. This does not contradict evolution, by the way. Of course we have evolution until the chimpanzee, and they still exist. But because of the artificial mutation, Adam and Eve, we are the Homo sapiens sapiens. Before the gods, the so-called gods, left our planet, in the Bible, the paradise, they told them, you humans, you can do everything, whatever you like. Rule over the planet, rule over the plants and over the trees, rule about everything, except one thing you're never allowed to do. Have sex with your own family, but the ones which are not mutated, because only two, Adam and Eve, and their sons and daughters later, they can cross together. Soon as one of them would have a sexual intercourse with their own family, apes, the figure of the chromosomes at that time are still the same. They would create some monster. In the Bible, they say some giants. That was the reason for the great flood. Not only according to the Bible, according to the book of Enoch. They clearly say to Enoch, we will bring now a flood to destroy all these giants and mixed creatures which exist in the meantime on the planet Earth. So according to this, the flood was not a coincidence, the gods created it. Imagine a normal ship on the ocean, 200 years ago. So they are maybe for weeks on the ship, on board the ship. Now they came to an island with beautiful girls. What do? They have sex. The same thing happened with the extraterrestrials. They were for maybe hundreds of years in their spaceships. They were working in their spaceship, the astronauts. Now they came to the planet Earth. And as the Bible says, they saw that the daughters of men were beauty, so they took them to wife. By the way, in sort of the Bible translation, they say, the fallen angels saw that the daughters of men were beauty, and they took them to wife. What is a fallen angel? They who descended. And not only in the Bible, you find this absolutely clear again in the book of Enoch. They clearly say the guardians of the sky, they had a mutiny on board. Some of them wanted to have sex with beautiful humans. They wanted to have sexual contact with them. But it was forbidden to do so. That's written in the book of Enoch. So they make a mutiny. Enoch gives even the names of 36 of these extraterrestrial figures, which say, we want to go down there, we want to have sex, we want to do this, even if it's against what the Lord is the commander of the spaceship, says. And they had sex, and the result was some different creatures and giants and all these things.